Okay.
Okay, Moed Katan Yud Aleph, 11. So there is we know, we've learned this in a number of places. I think we learned it in the Tzurim Rabbanon, that, for example, Xmas Day, there are dinim, you shouldn't do business with a non-Jew on that day because he's going to be grateful that he did the business. He's going to go thank his Avodah Zarah. So the Brisa says, Holchin liyirid shel Nachrim. Market day that happened to be on the same day as one of their holidays. The loichin behema, you can go to their market. The loichin behema avodim u'shvachos batim sadus uchram. You can buy from them animals and servants and homes, fields. The koisav u'malaber koshelan. You can go to their courts and validate and adjudicate contracts in the Goyish courts. You're giving cover to them and to their Avodah Zarah. No. Since you're acquiring these things, it's like you're saving them. And in other times, you wouldn't be able to get it. So that's what the Gemara meant, that the same din is similar by Avodah Zarah as it is by Chol Hamoed. Rav Shral l'chiyah barashi l'migdal oyare b'chol demoyada. Rav permitted Chia bar Ravashi to put out nets to catch birds on Chol Hamoed. My time, it might say had you do it. It doesn't require special certification. Aval izli osir. I guess more complicated nets where the professionals would use, that you can't do. My time and my se'umenu, because that's professional. Rav Yudah shar la'ami tanur l'migdal tanure. Rav Yudah permitted Rav Ami, who built ovens, to build ovens. U'l'Rav bar Ashbi l'migdal mahoylasa. He allowed him to build like a blacksmith's thing. Or says, "Eini v'atan Rav Shmuel v'shavin shein godlin tanel chatchila." I thought the halachas was you can't do it from scratch. Depends. In the summer, where if you build an oven, it's going to dry even within the yontif, you can do it because you'll be able to use it Chol Hamoed. But in wintertime, where you're not going to get use of it during Chol Hamoed, like Chol Hamoed Sukkos, and it won't be like in Pesach, you could use it. But in Chol Hamoed Sukkos, you can't. Can't do Masak Shomi. Mishnah. Oisin Makel Agag. There's a din that the person, you have to have a wall, a gate, a fence, on any kind of upstairs, your roof, your balconies. So you have so you're allowed to build a makeh to the roof of the mirpeset as long as you're building it ma'aseh hedyoid. You're not building it like a professional would. Avalon ma'aseh umen. If you're going to build it in a professional way, that you can't do Chol Hamoed. Shafinas atzdakim magilas and magila b'yad of a regel. Let's say you have an oven and it's got cracks. You want to smooth them out. There's a certain like a planing, one of those carpenter's planes, which you can smooth things out. You could do it with your hand or foot. Avaloma machlat sayim. You can't use a carpenter's plane. That's a kli, that's miyuchad for that. Then hatzir vatzinor v'akara, the tzir is like these are the hinges of your doors. And the
Ernie, you would think that this is such especially the makeh, the balcony, you would think that anybody can do it. It's so dangerous. That's why.
No, what they meant when it says you can do it ma'aseh hedyot. We're going to see what does ma'aseh hedyot mean. You can't build it in a professional way.
Yeah, but if you don't build it in a professional way, a guy can fall off the dome roof.
No, you build it in a way that it fulfills a makeh, and then after Chol Hamoed, you'll have to get the contractor to come and do it correctly.
Yeah, but
we're not saying you got to do it to meet the minimum standards of a makeh, but you do it. The Gemara will tell us What does it mean?
I hear.
What does it
Yeah,
mean, Maisa Hedyot? It's a
but
good question.
it's very strange though. It's such an important mitzvah, and it's a doraisa, and it's not a joke. So we're talking about Cholomoid, and how would the makkah broke? You don't want your children or you don't want anybody to fall off the roof and die. What is that? So you take a professional. You can't take a professional. You don't know how
No,
to do
not
it.
on your Cholomoid.
I understand.
So temporarily, you've got to do it in a Maisa Hedyot fashion.
Okay, I heard that, but I still don't understand. Okay, let's carry on, Martin. I'm saying, I just don't
Now,
understand.
of course, if it's a sakana nefashos, you're allowed to violate any din. So obviously, we're not talking about where there's a potential sakana nefashos. If there was, you'd be allowed to.
But obviously, if you got to fix it, obviously it's dangerous. Therefore, you have to fix it. If it's dangerous and you have to fix it, there's always a sakonas nefashos when you're on a roof and there's no makkah.
Yeah, but it could be very low. Could be we're talking about like a little. It doesn't say just a roof, even on an itztava.
Okay, fine.
So maybe it was something that wasn't dangerous. It's a good point. Then the Mishnah said, Hatzir v'atziner v'akar v'amanu v'mefatech. These are all kelim involving doors. The lock, the key, shenishberu. Mesaknan b'moed. That you're allowed to fix, cholamoid. As long as you don't plan. Let's say this thing broke 3 weeks before you hunt it, and you wait to cholamoid. No, it's only if it happens at cholamoid, you can fix it. Now, you like pickles, or you like pickled herring, or whatever you like to pickle. If the pickling process can work fast enough that you could use it on this cholamoid, then you're allowed to pickle on cholamoid. But if it takes 30 days to pickle, you can't start the pickling process on cholamoid. So the Gemara asks Walter's question. What do you mean build a makkah through a maisa hedyot? You use palm leaves, palm branches. You don't build with brick and mortar. You build it. You build it so that you can't fall off of whatever you're building it on. But it's not built like a maisa uman. Okay. Which means you put stones there, but you don't cement them in. Cementing would be a maisa uman. Then shapines asdak maginos of magela. You could smooth out an oven or something that needs smoothed out. But Mishnah seemed to suggest you could use the magila, which is a kli. Mashta magila amritshari, but yadav regularly boy. I mean, why are you saying you're allowed to use your hand and foot? If you can use a kli, you certainly can use your hand and foot. You're not allowed to use the magila. You have to use your hand or foot like a magila. Not the special carpenter's planing thing. All of these door things you could fix cholamoid. Reminu ad yamav hayapatish makeb Yerushalayim. Rav Yochanan Kohen Gadol, who served Kohen Gadol 80 years in Bayis Sheni, until his generation, they would hear a blacksmith's hammer, even cholamoid in Yerushalayim, because it was a davar ha'avud. But after that, they embellished it. Ad yamavin, mikan ve'elech lo. So l'chora, how can you tell me you can fix a door? It's also Maisa Uman. And all the Maisa Umanos were abolished after Yochanan Kohen Gadol. So loy kasha kan bin the nafchi. Nafchi, they asserted blacksmith work because the noise was very loud. But by the kan bin the nagari, but by the carpenters fixing the door things with wood, that was permitted because it didn't make a lot of noise. To be moilid kol is osir, Rashi says. Maskil Rav Chizda. Yomi kala rabba osir kala zitter shari. So what do you mean? It's based on loud noise versus Little noise, that can't be the pshat. Rav Chisda loy kasha haba magli, haba chatzini. If you use a magli, it didn't make a lot of noise, and the others made a lot of noise. So it depends on the kind of equipment you used. Rav Papa Khan koidim gzeira kan lacher, he gave a different shot. When it was mutter to do, that was before the gzeira. It was also to do, it was after the gzeira. Rav Ashi Amar Harav Yidar Rav Yosi. It's machlokes tanoim. Dam Rav Yitzchak Bar Avdini. Man tana shini b'moed b'davra aved. For example, let's say you have a davra of with financial loss. Do you have to do a shinui or not? The one who says you have to do a shinui is Deloitte Rabbi Yosi. So Rabbi Yosi says you don't have to do it with shinui, and Rabbi Yehuda says you have to do it with a shinui. Amar Ravina Kaman Madleg Kaman Madlina Aidnik Kavyusa Dedosha B'Chol Demoed. Today we raise the board above a door frame. We do it without a shinui on Chol Hamoed today. We do it like Rabbi Yosi. So fixing doors and all that, halacha, you can fix on Chol Hamoed without a shinui. As long as you don't put it off to dafka to Chol Hamoed. Then the Mishnah said that if pickling things, as long as it can be finished during Chol Hamoed, you can pickle. Kvashin sheyachal lechol b'moed koivshin. B'dita levo kavri, there was a river, B'dita, and they took a lot of fish out of that river on Chol Hamoed. Azul kulam etzud, aisu kavri. They all hunt. They all got fish and brought fish on Chol Hamoed. Sharlu Rava lemimlech, and Rava permitted them to salt the fish. But there's a huge amount of fish. They're not going to be able to finish all this Chol Hamoed. Since these dogim, they were hunted and caught all to eat, and to eat them immediately, later on they saw, they brought so much, but since the original das was to eat it, so Ishavik Lupas, and if they didn't do it, it would be a hefsid. So again, it's like prakamatya ha'avidami v'shari. It's like your merchandise in a warehouse that otherwise is going to be lost, which you're permitted to do whatever you have to do to save it. Same thing here with the fish. In fact, Rava permitted everything. Catching the fish, bringing the fish, and salting the fish. The Mishnah qualified it. It's not an Amarle. Hani nami misakli agavitzitza. Even though they salted it, they can eat. Some of the fish juice comes out, and they can eat it. Technically, everything could be eaten during Chol Hamoed. Even like you might not eat all the fish, but some of the fish brine that comes out could be eaten even for Chol Hamoed. He made this. It's called 60. Like 60 drops. I guess it's a mechanism of how they salted it.
Pressings.
Was?
It says pressings.
It's process. It's a processing of how they salted this. Rav Ekelbe Reish Galusa. Rav visited the house of the exarch. They brought him also this dish and he ate it. Rav Ekelbe Rav Shpir. Kavra. He visited Rav Shpir. They brought him a fish to eat. Tilsa bishula, a third of it was cooked. Tilsa milk, a third salted. The tilsa tavya. It was fried. Amarav Armeliadet Saida, the famous hunter, told him, Kavra samach lemisr chamali. Eating it right before it goes spoils is when it tastes the best. Amarav Armeliadet Saida. Then he told us, Rav is going to tell us other tricks of this famous hunter, Adet Saida. Kavra, fish, tavya ba'achu. should be fried in its brother, meaning in salt, because fish grow up in salt. Salt comes from the water, so it's called its brother. And also asuke bavua, it's caught or brought up from its father's water, and michle bivrei, and it's eaten with its son, which is the brine that comes out of the fish. It's like a son of the fish. Ishti aleavua, and then he drank water at the end, which is also his father, the fish's father, Amarav. Armeli Adit told him something else. Kavra tachli v'chaba, a fatty fish, litin gufan v'lo litin porya. It's good. You shouldn't go to sleep right after you eat it. Take a walk a little bit, so you don't go to sleep. I guess it's hard to digest. Amarav, Armeli Adit Kavra tachli v'chalba. No, fish, watercress, and milk. Maya v'lo shechri. You should drink water with it and not beer. Now, what if you don't have water? Shechri v'lo chamer. Better to drink beer than to drink wine. Okay. So we're looking at today's daf. Today was Yud Beis. So,
Yes.
excuse me. Today was Yud Aleph. We did half of today's blot.
Yes.
Today's Yud Aleph. So tomorrow we'll do Yud Beis. We'll do Yud Aleph and Yud Beis, which was tomorrow's blot.
Great.
Tomorrow will be 8:00.
Shkoyach, Ernie, how you feeling? How's your mother?
I'm feeling okay.